On April 14, 2026, thousands of viewers were watching a live stream from a neon-lit bar in Miami. They watched as a 20-year-old internet star began slurring his words, mumbled that he was destroyed, and suddenly became unresponsive. His fellow streamers realized within seconds that something was horribly wrong. They abruptly cut the feed to black, picked him up, and rushed him out the door. Miami Fire Rescue soon responded to the scene, and local media confirmed the young man was taken to the hospital following a suspected overdose. This incident marks the tipping point of a massive, destructive internet movement. Subscribe to The Explainer as we investigate the full story. The influencer's public breakdown exposes the physical risks inherent in a subculture obsessed with biological perfection. The young man in the hospital was Braden Peters, known to nearly 1 million followers across TikTok and Kick as Clavicular. He was pulling in over $100,000 a month from his streams, crossing over into the mainstream, walking the runway at New York Fashion Week. He achieved this status as the undisputed king of Looksmaxxing, a digital subculture dedicated to maximizing male physical attractiveness at any cost. This movement claims to optimize human health and beauty, yet its most visible star ended his week on a life support mask. This diagram shows how the Looksmaxxing pipeline operates. It starts with soft maxing, adopting basic skincare routines, fitness goals, and new haircuts. But the community encourages escalating into hard maxing. Peters admitted he began ordering black market testosterone at just 14 years old, causing permanent biological damage. Over time, his daily regimen expanded into a cocktail of pharmaceuticals, peptides, and the use of crystal meth to artificially suppress his appetite. He also advocates for bone smashing, one of the most visceral physical practices in the community. This pseudoscience involves hitting one's face with a blunt object like a hammer, under the false belief that the microfractures will grow back into sharper, more masculine cheekbones. Peters achieved his transformation through the systematic destruction of his natural biology. These aesthetic goals rely on bodily harm that is inherently unsustainable. The extreme demands placed on the body serve as a gateway to ideological radicalization. The language used in these forums draws heavily from the incel community, including derogatory terms like foids to dehumanize women. Every social interaction is viewed through the lens of mogging, the act of dominating another person simply by being physically superior to them. This worldview naturally aligns with polarizing internet figures. Peters integrated the philosophy of self-styled misogynist Andrew Tate into his own broadcasts. His associations extend into the political sphere. Peters has also publicly worked with white nationalist Nick Fuentes, welcoming radical rhetoric into the Looksmaxxing space. Looksmaxxing preys on the insecurities of young men, using the promise of physical control to push them toward right-wing extremism and misogyny. Maintaining this alpha male persona while streaming for hours on end creates an intense psychological pressure, fueled by the algorithmic need to produce viral content. This need for views led to erratic behavior, including a viral video of Peters hitting a pedestrian with a Tesla Cybertruck. When traditional media questioned his ties to incel culture during a 60 Minutes Australia interview, Peters aggressively walked off the set. His off-screen reality matched the public chaos. In early 2026, he faced consecutive arrests for drug possession in Arizona and battery in Florida. The breakdown in that Miami bar was the logical conclusion of a public image already fragmenting under the weight of intense scrutiny and legal trouble. The day after he was discharged from the hospital, Peters broke his silence on social media with a photograph of his bloodied face and a brief message, "Just got home, that was brutal." He went on to admit that his heavy substance use was merely a cope, trying to make him feel neurotypical while navigating public life. The Looksmaxxing community promises that a perfect jawline grants happiness and power, yet its biggest icon required narcotics just to function in public, culminating in a total physical collapse. Hyper-masculine perfection serves as a mirage. The industry weaponizes male insecurity, trading the promise of ascension for a reality of self-destruction.